The guy I was living with when I first moved, he had thin hair, but he's not losing his hair. And he had made some comments, you know, hey, you know, it stinks for guys like us to really be losing our hair. He said, mine's not nearly as bad as yours is, but, you know, he meant nothing by it. He was a good friend of mine. We were just joking around, but that was when it really first hit me. Oh, people really notice that you're losing your hair. And that was really the first comment where I was like, okay, now maybe you might want to start looking into some things. There were some photos that was taken outside of work with some friends of mine, and I didn't know it was that bad. And I didn't want anybody to see these photos because for me it was kind of embarrassing. Like I said, I didn't know it was that bad at the time. So that's when I really started looking at different companies out there that would do hair restoration. And I was thinking, okay, I've noticed it now, other people are noticing it, and before it didn't ever bother me, but at that particular time it had really started to bother me a little bit, so I wanted to start looking into it. Just out of curiosity, I decided to do my consultation with you all because it was so close. And my first day, my family was there with me. We're kind of asking all the basic questions, and I'll be honest, I was kind of skeptical at first, as most people would be. I had a wedding coming up, and it was something that I knew I wanted to do. Y'all did care, and that really helped. It was part of the reason why I chose to come here. The procedure itself was easy. I get a family sense from this place. Everybody is very involved. The staff here truly cared about, you know, my hair and all that. I chose the multi-unit hair grafting because it's the option that I had of how many hair follicles y'all could take out. I can't remember the numbers specifically, but I was in the class because I do have thick hair on the back and the sides of my head where I can get the most hair follicles out of it to transplant onto the top. And I believe it was a little bit cheaper, if I'm not mistaken. It just seemed like a more hands-on thing. I still trust people more than I do a machine, to be honest with you. Everything just seemed to sound a little bit more bang for your buck. Like I said, I just felt much more comfortable. But just looking at it on paper, you know, side by side, it was just the best option for me. And like I said, you know, being able to get the most hair follicles out of it was something big for me, because if I'm gonna do it, I wanna have thick hair on the top too. The results were fantastic. They were more than I could have hoped for. I've actually had that conversation with some of my friends that I've known for years, back to middle school, high school, that they were in my wedding, I was in their wedding, and I hadn't seen him since his wedding until about shortly before my wedding. He said, "Did you have the hair transplant?" I said, "Yeah, I had it." He said, "You look great. It's really coming in, it's looking nice." How I feel now is night and day compared to how I felt before. I didn't really want, I wore a hat a lot, you know, especially when I cut my hair short. Now, my biggest problem is the wind blowing my hair and making it look crazy, which is a good problem to have for me. It's a good feeling to have. A lot more confident. I don't wear hats anymore unless I'm on a golf course. So much more confidence. I'm excited about it. I feel great that I've got the hair. I don't have a problem going out in public anymore. I don't have a problem sitting up in front of a camera at work. I don't have a problem sitting in meetings with the governor's staff and they come in looking fancy and, you know, perfect hair, perfect everything, and then, you know, you can't tell us apart now. We got married, and while we were standing up there, I was thinking, this is why I had the hair transplant. This was the day that I wanted to do it. We've only been married a couple months, and we still get some wedding photos in after they've been done, and so she still loves flipping through them. And she's like, "Look at this one, look at this one. We look great here." But every comment is, "Your hair looks great on this angle." I'm looking at my hairline saying, "Okay, that looks great. You can't tell." It's nice for her to notice that I have a hairline instead of no hairline. The more it grew in, she started noticing after a little bit. She said, "Oh, it's starting to come in a little bit. It's looking good." And now when she looks at our wedding photos as well, she's like, "I'm so glad you had the surgery done. You look great." She's like, "I didn't think I cared at first. Still don't. Still love you if you were bald, but it looks good on you." She said she's excited about it. As far as my investment for the hair transplant goes, hands down, I would absolutely do it again. and I would recommend anybody else to do it too. More so this place because of the process that goes into it. You really feel like you're getting your money's worth out of it with all the different products that you use. It is an investment, but you know, it's an investment I would gladly do again. It's right up there with a wedding ring. I have no issues with putting my money towards that. Not once have I second-guessed my investment on this.
For a free evaluation, call IHRS 904-425-5097.